then he'll like me because I'm giving him what he wants, and this is what men want. And like, maybe she's also confident in her abilities, so she's like, let me,
Because
but
women are the guardians of sex, right? It's like, so at that point, that's your most valuable commodity that you have to trade. It's your leverage. Is that you are the one who's going to determine if sex is going to happen.
you are not under any obligation to have sex with somebody. That's the misconception, right? Like, it's not manipulation, and maybe men view it that way and they get mad, and then maybe women are like, I don't want to do that, and maybe they do want to be intimate with somebody. But here's the thing that women need to understand: even if you want to be intimate with him on the first date, don't do it.
When women have control in a relationship, or when women have control in the dating process,
and when men have control in the dating process, because it's still technically the dating process, or it should be. Yeah, so I guess we'll start with the women since they're first. Yeah, the women, they don't realize that when they're first going on the first initial dates, I would say even potentially up to the first 5 dates, they have the control. Because a man is going on a date, and even if he's looking for a relationship, he's also looking for something else. Like, we know what he's looking for. I don't have to say it. And I'm not saying that all women think that if they give a man what he wants within the first date, or even, I would even say like 3 dates in, because personally, I think you should wait at least 3 dates minimum.
Okay. Yeah.
Then he'll like me because I'm giving him what he wants, and this is what men want. And like, maybe she's also confident in her abilities, so she's like, let me, but it doesn't really work that way. Men tell you that's what they want, that is what they want. But if you give them what they want, it will not get you what you want.
Right, because that's when you have the leverage.
Right.
When you have the thing that the man wants the most, and because women are the guardians of sex, right? It's like, so at that point, that's your most valuable commodity that you have to trade. It's your leverage. Is that you are the one who's going to determine if sex is going to happen.
Right.
Point in the relationship. And so if you give that up, you're giving up your leverage, your biggest leverage. Not that you should, necessarily, it doesn't mean you should manipulate people with sex or especially
but it's not that, because it's too early for it to even be that. Like, you can't manipulate somebody with sex when you're just getting to know them and you're withholding that. Like, that's what I think women and everybody need to understand is like, when you use sex as manipulation, that's further into the relationship. That's when you're committed, that is when that happens. But when you're first getting to know somebody, you are not under any obligation to have sex with somebody. Are we going to blow in? Yeah, it's windy. But that's the misconception, right? Like, it's not manipulation, and maybe men view it that way and they get mad, and then maybe women are like, I don't want to do that, and maybe they do want to be intimate with somebody. But here's the thing that women need to understand: even if you want to be intimate with him on the first date, don't do it.
Right. Yeah.
Like I said, hold out to at least the 3rd date, because then by that point, you'll either want to do it more, which will make it a better experience, or you won't want to at that point, and you realize that you don't really like him. For, the compatibility that you guys have. And I feel like a lot of women, especially if they've dated a lot and, they haven't had a lot of luck, sometimes they might start resorting to, well, I just want anybody to like me. Like, they're not saying that, but they're acting that way. And so they do try to give the man all these things that he hasn't earned yet either. And just like we've done an episode about how men, try to give women all these things that they haven't earned.
Right.
You can't give a man something he hasn't earned. And he should earn having sex with you. And that should be what he is earning.
Yeah. Yeah. People are going to have to, I mean, that's a good sound. But here's the thing.
It's true, though.
It is true. And I'll tell you why. Is because what it really translates to is that he needs to put in the effort. He needs to show, right, the actual courtship process, right? Because if he can just hook up, right, that's what most men want. That's when they're on a dating app, they're looking to hook up. They're like,
but he's not taking a girl to dinner to hook up. You know what I mean? I mean, he wants to, but not. He's not going to take a girl to dinner and pay for dinner in order to get that. But that is what he wants at any time, you know, like a man's not going to say no to that.
Just getting nervous on it. But what I'm saying is that it's like he has to put in an act. Like as a woman, you want to make sure that he's going to put in an effort.
Right.
And if you give it up too early, you're more likely to lose him because in order for a man to fall in love or to really want something more, he needs to get to know you more and has to put in an investment. Well, anyone has to put into an investment.
Right.
And that's what creates attachment. But if you have required minimal investment from him and he's gotten the main thing that he wanted, then why doesn't he just move on? And most of the time he's going to. Not to say that always happens. Like sometimes you have a magical connection and, you know, you hook up on the first date and everything is great.
Right.
But a lot of times women give up that leverage so easily.
Right.
And so then the guy doesn't have to put in effort because, look, you know, you've heard that whole saying, you know, why buy the cow if I can get the milk for free? And that's kind of the idea behind it is like a guy is not going to invest time and money and energy.
Right. If you're just giving it away. Right. And that's a huge thing because a lot of women will tell you, oh, well, they'll go on some dates with some guy and she'll really like him. And she'll be like, I did everything. I was so nice to him. I like, you know, did all the things that he wanted me to do. You know, I gave him everything that we talked about, like that he wanted and showed him that I'm that. Why doesn't he like me? And it's like, because that is not what it's about. And it kind of goes back to one of the episodes we did about like girl game and guy game and things like that and being mysterious. And it's not to be deceitful, but it's because when you do give everything right off the bat, then you are more hurt and you do take it personally, or you do try to turn a situation that isn't, you know, the best situation for you into something that it's not, if that makes sense. Like you end up making the wrong decisions.
It's a sunk cost fallacy. You've already put in, given up something that's valuable to you, right? And so now you're chasing what you've invested.
Right. Because you got to get something out of it because you put all this effort into it. So now you have to get something from this person or from this situation. Better than